Hello, I'm Chrissy Seaton and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I want to bring to your attention a second marvellous book by the author and researcher Jeremy Haysham. Previously, a few weeks ago, I did a video about his first book, and I'm ever so pleased to have with me now his second book that he has published. Now, the first book was in a very dark black matte finish, and the second book looks almost the same, except this is a dark navy blue matte cover. So, and it will have clearly written on the bottom that it is taken from the Gospel of Mark. Now, I want to just, before I get into this book with you, I just want to also tell you that there will be links in the description box below where you can get these books. And I want to also tell you how important it is, particularly for those people coming out of Christianity and discovering the Noahide path, that these books are really an important tool to have. They're well written, they're not big, heavy books, easy to manage. I think there's around about 120 pages in this latest one. And this, of course, is called From Christianity to Noahide, The Prophecies in the Gospel of Mark. That's this one, the second book. Now, I'm going to dwell on a couple of things here. And firstly, expect 2 more books, the other 2 Gospels. And now I have the cat. Oh, my goodness me, there's going to be a drama here. Come on, move, go, 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 go. Everything can easily collapse. I've lost my train of thought now, thanks to Noah the cat. But this book is going to be followed by 2 more as well, and they will be to do with Luke and John, the Gospels. And so I urge you to wait for those as well. But in the meantime, the Gospel of Mark is now available. You can purchase this on Amazon. There'll be a link in the description box below. I know it's available on Amazon Australia because I just got my copy today. And that's why I'm eager to do this video and get it out and show you. I've had a quick speed read of it, and I want to just bring you up to what's going on. So I'm sure you'd be able to buy it through Amazon New Zealand as well. So let me just bring you into a couple of things I want to share that the author has written in the introduction, and I won't read all of it, but there were just a couple of things I wanted to highlight from this. Now, it says the Gospel of Mark is the second book of the 4 canonical Gospels. It goes on and says, the Gospel of Mark was not written by the Apostle Mark. The writer is anonymous. Almost all scholars agree that Mark was the first of the Gospels written, and that the writers of Matthew and Luke used the Gospel of Mark as their source. Probably it was written around 66 to 74 Common Era. This then would obviously mean that the Gospel of Matthew and Luke were written later. There's a couple of other notes here to be aware of. Jeremy goes on and says, when I was a Christian for over 20 years, I was led to believe that the Christian Bible was the Word of God, as I'm sure many other Christians do as well. We go down a bit further. I'm just picking a few sentences and paragraphs that I think are important for you to gain an overview of what the importance is of this book. It says a little about my Christianity. I was born in Wales in a small town called Barry Island on the south coast of Wales. My family immigrated to New Zealand in 1985 when I was 17. I had a few jobs there, here and there. It says that I somehow got a job as a retail assistant in a menswear clothing store. The manager was a born-again Christian. He invited me to his church youth group, and he proceeds on then and says that I read the Bible morning, noon and night and studied it. I spoke in tongues and was baptised at the youth camp. I was involved in church ministries. I'm paraphrasing here because of time. And it goes on and he says, I met my wife at the church where I became a Christian. We were married in 1992 while I was a car groomer for the Rover and Renault franchise at Newmarket, Auckland City. I eventually became a qualified mechanic with Honda New Zealand at the Newmarket dealership. Eventually, my wife and I moved to Taupo in the central North Island. We have lived there ever since. Now, of course, you will know from my first video that I know Jeremy and his wife Joanne. They are Noahide people, and I met them in person when they came to the conference in Melbourne a few weeks back. So, although I knew them via Zoom, etc., it was lovely to meet up with them in person. He goes on and says, my wife and I were heavily involved with the Taupo Baptist Church. Eventually, my Christian walk became dull and lethargic. Dare I say, Christianity was becoming narcissistic in nature. He goes on and says, however, there was a part of me that still yearned for study and knowledge. And at some time, I began to read alternative books on religion and etc. And I'm skipping a few sentences here. I just want to give you a quick overview. I concluded that Christianity has nothing to do with the Old Testament, which I will now call the Hebrew Bible. They became involved in the Messianic movement, but for a short time. But he said they didn't stay there long because the Messianic movement is still has Christianity as its core. It goes on and says that he said, I took it upon myself to learn the biblical Hebrew language. This was the leading reason why I walked away from Christianity and the Masonic movement. From learning Hebrew, I could not reconcile the translations. It was like trying to fit a star shape into a round hole. Now, for any of you who don't understand, learning the Hebrew language is a monumental effort under any circumstances. Unless you're born into the language in Israel and speak it. Now, there's street Hebrew and there's biblical Hebrew as well. So it is a very hard task. A lot of people begin and give up. But this man persevered in the quest for knowledge. He understood that he would have to understand the biblical Hebrew as well, so he could read directly from those quotes and verses, etc. And so this is, I now see myself as a person who has moved from Christianity to being Noahide. And of course he has. And so this is, there's just so much in this. Well, I've tried to speed read. I can't speed read it all before I have done this video today, but I'm just looking at what's in the paragraphs of each chapter. You're not going to be disappointed. I think it's going to be an extraordinary expose. By the time you've all read the 4 books, those that are interested, it's going to be a magnificent yet startling journey from one belief to another. But it is based on truth, based on the original Hebrew language, and the text is what you people that are Gentiles would normally understand to be the Old Testament, but in actual fact, it's the Holy Bible. It's the Hebrew Bible. It contains the 5 books of Moses and all the other holy writings. So it's not an Old Testament. It's very much alive and thriving. And I think these books that Jeremy is writing, this being the second that's been published, it's going to be a great assistance to your journey in whatever faith you are in. So I want you to, if you haven't already got this book, the first one, The Prophecies in the Gospel of Matthew, then again, I suggest you order it at the same time as you get this latest one, which is The Prophecies of in the Gospel of Mark. So, I wish Jeremy every success with this publication, as was his last, a great success. And please do avail yourself of a copy. And if you have any friends that you think would be interested in understanding these writings, then I think it would be great to suggest they get a copy, or that you at least lend them one that you have. Now, again, they are available on Amazon. I'm just trying to, they're not expensive. I know they're not expensive. I'm just quickly have a look on my computer here. In Australia, which is, you know, everything's dear in Australia, I think they're around $17. And really that's quite reasonable. And in Australia, I was supposed not to get this till sort of Friday, and I got it today, early today. So I've been trying to speed read through it all, but never mind. Please do avail yourself of those copies. Very well written, professionally written, extremely well researched, and a great advantage for any home library, especially if you have friends or family who are struggling with their faith and questioning things in Christianity. Then these books will certainly help. In the meantime, please take care and God bless.